Shambho Mahadev Mahadev Mahadev. Om Ishvara Vraksha. We have completed the 7th chapter, and practically Chhandogya Upanishad concludes there. The 8th chapter, Maharshi Vaishambhayana through Yajnavalkya, he is taking us through an analysis of the nature of the self. We have already discussed about in the 7th chapter the skandha, interpretation of the skandha at last, where Sanat Kumara Maharshi said that this is known as the skandha because the one interpretation of the skandha, there is the story of Sanat Kumara himself was born on as Kartikeya, and before that he said the initiates Bhagavan Sanat Kumara initiates Narada with this great knowledge, who is free from all impurity of every kind, a fit disciple to be instructed by an exceptionally great master into this great mystery of the Supreme Being. So with the initiation, it is finished actually. Maharshi Sanat Kumara initiated Devarshi Narada of the great secret of the Tattva. What was the Tattva? Do you remember? Why Maharshi Narada came to the great saint Sanat Kumara is because he said that even though he knew everything, he said the sorrows and sadness and sorrows and the difficulties of the world in me is not departing me from them. It's not differentiating me from them. I am engulfed in that sorrows and the sadness, even though I know everything in the world. This is how Devarshi requests that please save me from this problem of sorrows which I am undergoing through, even though I am well educated in the status of the Vedic science as well as the Jnanam in the universe. Then Bhagavan Sanat Kumara explains him about the misconception that Devarshi had, that he knows everything. Had he known everything, he would not have told the syllabus of knowledge that he has inscribed or entered into or known. The moment he has named the knowledge as the capabilities of traveling all over the world, without any obstruction. Akasha, Bhumi, Padala, anywhere he can travel. He knows everything. He has got approach to all the gods. He has approach to Mahavishnu himself. He has knowledge of all what is happening in the world, sitting at one point. And he knows what is the Tattva, what is the Jnana, what is the Brahman, what is this, what is this. He has enlisted the knowledge that what he has. I'm just trying to remember what has happened. Then Maharishi Sanat Kumara, the great thought, he was in trouble. Why he was in trouble? To make a person who doesn't know anything, it is easier to understand, teach him. The man who has already prefixed an idea and he has already filled up his mind with the thought and knowledge that he knows everything, how to make that man understand and what technique he has to use is what Maharishi Sanat Kumara was thinking, and that was his problem. Because in any case, in whichever way he goes, Devrishi will think that this I know, that I know. No, unless that I know is removed from him, Maharishi Sanat Kumara will not be in a position to make him understand the truth. Is why the whole process from the third chapter, third means 5 plus 3, 8th chapter to 7th chapter. In 7th chapter, the whole thing from Nama to the Atman. This was the travel. Yes, Nama to Atman. So he has to explain the whole thing. Only because that Devrishi was stuck saying that he knew everything. Then he had to prove that, yes, the Nama, if you know the name, you do not know what is in the name, is what he is explaining. Once you know what is in the name, then you do not know the name. If you know what is in the name, you do not know what is the name. Is what Devrishi says. What does it mean? Nama, when I explained you Nama, remember that. What is the details we have gone through, I am not going through again. We call Bhagavan Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, Rama, Bhagavan Shiva. Nama. Yes. If I know what is this Nama, what contains in this Nama, the Nama has no value actually. It is the Jnanam of Bhagavan Shiva, it is the Jnanam of Bhagavan Vishnu, which we in concise started talking about Bhagavan Vishnu and Bhagavan Shiva. And ultimately people, or even many knowledgeable people also, have ended up with knowing only the name, but not what is in the name, is what Maharishi Sanat Kumara says. Once you know what is in the name is not important. Many activities of Bhagavan Shiva, we know through Shiva Purana. When you go through the Puranas, even though the Puranas are only some guidelines to make us understand the principles of the Vedic science. So in the forms of stories and various kinds of things, this has been inscribed so that the common man who is entangled in the Nama Matra. We are all entangled and then unable to liberate ourselves from Nama Matra. I am so and so. From there it begins the Nama. From that name, I am unable to come out. Finished. I think the whole name explanation is good enough in one sentence. I am unable to come out of my own name, is it not? Not the name XYZ. My name is, I am the father, I am so and so, I am the guru, I am the shishya, I am the man, I am the woman, I am in this world, I am so many years of old. I am unable to come out of this nama of me. I do not know what is in the name. How do I know? Then how about others? Then the others. Forget about knowing about others. Nama matra. So he inscribed what are all the Puranas, what are the Shastras, what are the Vedas and Vedic principles that he knew. So Bhagavan had to tell him that they are all, since you know only they are all Nama Matra, isn't it? The one who knows about the supreme knowledge, supreme jnanam, will not be dividing this into the names because it cannot. Why? Not that he doesn't know how to divide it, because it cannot be divided. That which is divisible. Name means names what? Names means that which are divisible, is it not? That which is divisible, how can it be jnanam? That which is divisible is not jnanam. That which is indivisible is the jnanam. So Shiva, Pariyaya of Shiva, somebody was talking to me when I was away. Why Bhagavan Shiva has got the Rudra Rupam, Devi has got Rudra Rupa, why it is known as Akhoris, why they are known as Rudras, why they are known as many things. Why there is a Shanta Rupa, why there is a Raudra Rupa, why Asura, why Asuras, why Devas. Classification of various identities, Nama Matra. The one who is entangled in the names will never be able to come out of Nama. From how many names you will come out of it? Is it not? Like, okay, many of them, like Devas are there, Asuras are there, Yaksha is there, Daksha is there, like that. Many of them are there. How many of them will human is there? How many of them we will we will identify them? So Bhagavan, Sanat Kumara, I'm just going through the gist of it. Said Nama, then Vani, Vang, it's nothing. Mana, nothing. Panchabudas, nothing. Gradually, he started analyzing his knowledge, because there is no other way how to make him understand. Otherwise, he will never accept it. Same as human being. It's all representing to human being. A human will never accept. He will only argue, that what I know is right. He will try to establish whatever he knows is right. And we all know it very well, the human beings. People who are knowledge, definitely they understand. Everything is limited. We ourselves are limited so much. Look at the whole universe. Look at the planet Earth from the angle of the whole universe. What will be that? It will be not even like a small ball. In that there are so many people are there. Out of so many people, so many species, so many animals, so many birds, so many trees, so many plants, so many aushadhis, so much of land and so much of water. In that small land, 1/3 is, the rest of is all water. And in that land, out of so many people, you are one of them, how tiny you should be. And that tiny one has a knowledge, he says. And that, he says, he is the supreme. Where are we? Understood? And a man who is looking at the universe, he is trying to explain that tiny speck. Who says he has all the knowledge? How to make him understand this is not the knowledge, a small one. Under complete misconception of the representation of the knowledge. So Sanat Kumara, Bhagavan, had to explain the Rishi, and ultimately when he explained about the totality from Nama to the last chapter was the Atma. That was a beautiful chapter which we had completed. That Atman, the purity, that which is incompatible with the nature of the Absolute, is it. And the one who is harmonized with the Absolute. And he says we should not be incompatible with the nature. The one who is compatible with the nature, with the Prakriti in the sense, that which is existence, is it. That incompatible, the compatible with the existence is known. Atma is not something which is a small unit, which is entrapped in this physical body. Yeah. But it is the universe. It is not something which is measurable, even though here also we are talking about the measures. What is Atma? It's not prana, it's not vayu, it is not the indriyas, it's not the sharira, it is the consciousness which has got the compatibility with the existence of Prakriti and Purusha. Even Prakriti and Purusha is also a division which has been created only to make us understand. They are also no separation. How can it be two then? How can they? They are also a methodology to make us understand about the emotional nature of the Purusha, where the Indriyas and others are taking care of the Prakriti, and the one which is the highest consciousness which is controlling, and the one which is undergoing the experiences and then the karma phalas is which is known as the Prakriti. So this division. Now who is experiencing? That is also Purusha. Who is Prakriti? That is also Purusha. Is there a division between Prakriti and Purusha? No. That's also not there, you see. Is what even Puranas, when you go through it in detail, you will find, even though the explanation of the Shiva and Parvati, Shiva and Shakti, they said Shakti and Shiva. Without Shiva, Shakti is not there. Without Shakti, Shiva is not there. Is the explanation that has been given. What does it mean actually? It is not there are two and one is not possible to survive without the other is not the meaning of it. Both are one. They are not two. There is no Ardha Narishwara. It is only a misconception. I mean, misconception we can say. A concept that we are trying to explain that it is Ardha Narishwara. See, ultimately they have come closer to that nothingness. When they explained about the Ardha Narishwara, they came closer to nothingness because nothing of such is possible. Ardha Narishwara. Ardha Narishwara is it in the physical form. We are all looking at the physical form of it. So we will look for a temple which has got Ardha Narishwara, a temple which has got Krishna, Vishnu in the form of Krishna, Rama in the Vishnu in the form of Rama, Vishnu in the form of Vamana. There was a recent this one I saw. There is a Vamana temple in Kerala. Only one. It's a Vamana temple. So Vishnu in the form of the Dashavataras, out of that 9 avatars is done. So the 9 Vishnus, 9 representation of Vishnu in different avatara. Instead of, then why don't you, if you know he is an avatar of Vishnu, why don't you directly pray to Vishnu? Suppose somebody asks you this question, I'm just going through it, you see. But is it wrong? Is it right? Is it wrong? Is it wrong? It is not wrong as far as the certain category of people are concerned, because they can go to Vishnu only through Lord Krishna. Because Vishnu doesn't have the characteristics of the Krishna, who doesn't blow a flute, who doesn't walk around the cows, who doesn't drink milk. In fact, he doesn't need food at all. He is only lying down on Ananta. The one who is lying on the Anantam. There's no snake. So, what happened? Nama Matra. I'm just telling you the gist of it in our own way of explaining. Maharishi has explained it beautifully well, no doubt about it. But in a different way to look at it, you see. Is it not Nama Matra? Krishna reduces to Nama Matra when I compare to Vishnu. When I compare to Brahman, Vishnu is Nama Matra. Is it not? This is how it has to be understood. They are meant for sannyasis, common man. It is difficult to, he may understand it with his limited intelligence and knowledge to that extent. He will not be in a position to perceive it for the purpose of transmigration. In fact, the purpose is that in order this is to be perceived in order to have the transmigration. Otherwise, the benefit of listening, this knowledge is not there, then we can listen only to the Puranas. So it will be very entertaining. Contradictory stories are there. So Bhagavan said that, hey Narada, these contradictions are there in you. You have misconception that you have all the knowledge. If you have all the knowledge, you would not have named it. I'm repeating. So I go back to some of the some of the principles. When you go back in the research of the Shastras and Granths, Maharishi Vedavyasa is the one who took out the whole knowledge, divided into Vedas. Maharishi has divided them into these 4 Vedas. Earlier the division was not there. Yes. He has not written the Vedas, he has divided the Vedas. Maharishi. So that's why it is written, it is known as, till then it was never known as Vedas. Afterwards we named it as Vedas. That's why Sanat, Sanandan, Sanatan, Sanat Kumar are known as 4 Vedas. They are the gist of the knowledge. The totality of the knowledge was there. Now for the purpose of teaching and for the purpose of the others to understand it and divide it into various differences, he, with his knowledge, he categorized them and he made it Rigveda, Samveda, Atharvana and Yajurveda. He divided them according to the activities, the perception of it, that's all. It is not that the knowledge is different. It is not that Rigveda is different from Samaveda. It's not different from Atharvana Veda. The contents, today even there are people who thinks that Veda means it is the book. It's called Veda. Rigveda is one book, Atharvana Veda for them? Yes, it is okay like that. Veda is not in that book. Veda is with knowledge. That's all. What's the meaning of Veda? With knowledge. That is why you will find that Brahma has got the whole knowledge in that small grantha he is holding. The whole knowledge is in that. There are no four, he is not holding 4 books. Mata Saraswati is also not holding 4 books, only one. What does it mean? The perception of, it is only one knowledge. See, we should know these basics. So, otherwise what happens? Immediately when I say Vedas, we go look into those thick books. Rig Veda is not different. Rig Veda is the one portion of the Veda with. Samaveda is one portion of the with. Yajurveda is one portion, Atharvana is one portion. They are all together is known as Veda with. And that, not the books, the knowledge. Even the books, that inscription that has been made in the Vedic Vedas, those sutras, they are elaborate. The sutras could now be, many people have explained it in number of thousands of books. That's why we have got great collection of books in our Shastras. But could not be completed. Even today, somebody is talking about one shloka of Rig Veda, he will explain it in extensively, again further. There is no limit. Because knowledge is not limited. It is not limited in 4 books. You understand? The knowledge is not limited in those 4. It's the greatest mistake if somebody is telling that this book is called Rig Veda. That is not Rig Veda. It is a portion of Rig Veda, guidance of Rig Veda. It has got elaborate things, it can go further. That's why people could not understand that. Why not there be only one grantha, like many other religions, or ignorantly talking about small tidbits. This is good enough. Why you have got 5, 10 books or thousands of books? As I told you, somewhere I have read in some of the Upanishad, it takes a man with 120 years is a normal human being's life. With that, 10 Janmas he should take only to read those documents which is physically available in this universe at this moment of time. That also is limited. We do not know how much is there. But what has been there, what is there at present for the moment, these are all told by the professors and knowledgeable people who have got the statistics of the documents that is available. Those statistics, that documents which are available, to read, don't understand, just read that, it takes 10 Janmas. So you should know, what I am trying to tell you is that Veda or with or the knowledge, because it's very relevant to the chapter what we are going to talk. That's why this basis should be there in your mind. Otherwise what will happen? You will confine Atma into a small hand, in the fist. That will happen. This is what happens. Is it not? So, that should not be there. That's what has happened to, because that was the misconception Devrishi had about, according to Chhandogya Upanishad. So, the great Guru Sanat Kumara had to tell Devrishi, hey Devrishi, you have undergone the experience of all this, no doubt about it. But what happened is that you have not accepted them, or you have not perceived them as knowledge, and you have not, merged with that. You, as Devrishi, and that knowledge as knowledge has remained separate. And you always said that I owned that knowledge. You found yourself, we all say what we say that? I read that book. I have qualified that. Isn't it? I have qualified that examination. I have qualified that subject. I have qualified to be that. I have qualified. Whenever you say I have qualified, whenever Devrishi said I know about the knowledge, what happened? He is superior than the knowledge that he has. When I say I am qualified to that, I am superior than that. Is it not? So long your mind, your concept proves to you that you are superior than the knowledge, the whole concept is lost. Then what happens? If you are superior to the knowledge that you know, if you have qualified that, is it not? Then the worries and sadness is also yours. You have known the knowledge, so you have known the sadness. You have the worries. You have the knowledge. You have the worries. You have the money. You have the position. You have it. You are superior. So naturally, you should have the worries. Suppose the knowledge and you merge into the knowledge, and you do not try to analyze the knowledge, or you are not analyzing the knowledge, you become the knowledge. When you become the knowledge, the sorrows and the sadness doesn't get separated from the knowledge. It will be an integrated part of the knowledge, which is already diluted in the form of knowledge. The sorrows and sadness and the sufferings, are nothing but the result of the analysis that I make from the knowledge. Yes, I churn the knowledge, the result. Out of that, the benefit that is you think that is beneficial for you is derived by you and taken by you. That which is left out, that which is not belonging to you, is that what is called the sorrows and sufferings. And that. But what happens? You may identify them as separate, this as my knowledge and that as your suffering. Both are yours. When you churn, butter comes up. Even though the butter is floating on top of it, below that buttermilk is there. When you are owning the butter, you have to own the buttermilk also. Butter is yours, buttermilk is also yours. Even though what you do, you try to take this butter out of it and keep it separately for you. What will happen to buttermilk? Even though you have, for your convenience, taken out the butter and kept it separately, the buttermilk also belongs to you. That's all. Only thing, mentally or no, in the physical sense, you said that no, I have taken what I need. That is not mine. That is not mine is also there, is it not? And that's yours. That which is not mine is also yours. Where will it go? I mean, I'm not physically telling. When you mentally analyze it, it doesn't go anywhere. Suppose this is churned in the consciousness. When I churn it, after churning it, I'll say that this kind of life I would like to lead is better. So what happens? From that total consciousness, I derived certain things according to my limited knowledge, that this is better for me, and the rest of it is also a part of knowledge, which even though you think you have separated it, is not separate and it is yours. And when that which has not been accepted by you during the process of analysis, what is that? This totality is what? Totality is knowledge. Even though during the process of analysis, you have named this as good and that as suffering, and then sadness and this, that and all that, they are all knowledge only. you name them as sufferings and kashta and dukkha, that also belongs to you. Because put together is the knowledge. There are no sufferings. It's a nama karana, that's why nama. It's a nama that you have given to that. Is what Maharishi Sanatkumara said, that you know the Vedas. So if you know the Vedas, if you know Rig Veda, he said, I know Rig Veda, Samaveda, no, and all the Puranas and all that. So if you know Rig Veda, Samaveda, Atharvana, Yajurveda, you should know the suffering also. Why you are not knowing about suffering? Kashta and dukkha? Because they are also knowledge. That should be the part of it. Why you do not know? Because you conveniently, from the knowledge, that which you thought is beneficial and knowledge for you, you do not know what is knowledge. Do you know? Knowledge is not that you know it. You also are created by the knowledge, by that consciousness only. How can you know it? You being the part of that, how will you know it? It's not possible. Because you are a part of it. But you pretended that you know this Veda, Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharvana Veda, but you say, I am not getting rid of the sufferings and kashta and dukkha. How is it possible? That's also knowledge. That's a part of knowledge. Why did you divide that as not a knowledge? You try to merge this as a knowledge, then you will find you are not there. Because it is you, I know it. I have qualified the Vedas. I have qualified the results of the analysis of the Vedic knowledge. So what happens? You have the superior, you are superior to the knowledge. You have got the supremacy, and knowledge has become inferior according to you. When knowledge is inferior, the perception of the knowledge itself is totally different, because you understood the knowledge as an individual property. You are saying there is suffering and kashta and dukkha. Sanat Kumara says, I am not seeing any kashta and dukkha and suffering. If knowledge has got suffering and kashta and dukkha, if you are seeing it, I also should see it because it's an object. How it takes it. It's an object. If it is an object, the same thing what you are seeing, I should be able to see. I am not able to see that. So what is it? Now he goes to the next immediately. First he said names are wrong. Then he said, your perception is wrong. Why? Because you thought the knowledge is an object. Hey Devarishe, there is no object. Everything is subject. Now immediately he jumped into the next step. There is no, because you thought knowledge is an object, so you conquered the knowledge. The moment you think it is an object, you will be able to conquer it. The moment it is subject, it is already there. You cannot conquer it. Subject is already there. So Devarishe, that you think the knowledge as an object, Rigveda as object, Samaveda as object, Kashta and Dukkha and suffering as an object. What's the difference between Samaveda and Kashta and Dukkha? For you, both are same, is it not? But for me, I am not finding anything. I am not finding anything. To me, there is no object here. They will say subjective perception. So everything is subjective, it's not objective. There are no objects. He goes to the next, like this. See, gradually, step by step, he takes him to the perception of that there is nothing outside you. That which you think outside you is only an imagination of you. You are not in a position to identify what is the content of the subjective reality. So since you are Those which are not, how do we identify them as object and subject? Those which cannot be identified as a subject by me, I think it is an object. Those which cannot be identified by me, by my limited knowledge as the subject, I say it is object. A human being will say, it is my heart and it is his heart. It is my brain, it is his brain. Yeah. Medical science, when they open the book, there is no brain belonging to Rama, Krishna, Govinda, Sharma. They have explained only about the brain. Right? Telling you small examples. They have described only about the brain. They have not described about XY's brain. No? So and so's brain, so and so's brain, so and so's neurosystem, neurological system, so and so's liver, so and so's kidney, so and so's this. No. They have only explained about the liver, kidney. It's not. Only thing what happened when it comes to you, this is my liver and that is somebody's liver. No, why? What happened? Perception of the subjective and objective has become different. You are unable to accept the other liver as a liver, but you always said it is his liver, or his heart, his nose, his eyes. For an eye specialist, he is looking through this, he doesn't know whose eye it is. Isn't it? You go for eye test, he will say you show it. Will he identify whose eye it is? No. He identifies it as eye with such a problem. No? Another person comes, he says that this eye is such a problem. That's all. He doesn't identify it. It is your eye and my eye. I'm just telling you small examples so that your perception is clearer. So identification of the subjective and objective. So he goes to Maharishi Devrishis, Dehe Devrishi. So objective identification are nothing but an imagination. Because those which cannot be identified by you as subject, you call them as object, that's all. There is nothing as object. When I say Akasha, it is subjective. For you also it is Akasha, for me also it is Akasha. I don't say it is your Akasha and my Akasha. Yeah. It's not there. Because it doesn't belong to anyone. This should be the concept. So this is what he is making Mahadeva Rishi understand, that objective perception and subjective perception. So we need not to have studies of the objects in order to perceive it and then transform it and transmigrate it. They are all words used only for just to make the mind understand. Otherwise, none of these things are there. Is there any migration? If there is a separation, then only a migration is there. Ultimately, what I am talking about. If there is no separation, there is no migration. Yes. Then where is the question of switching over to migration? Through meditation, you transform yourself to. Why you have to transform? Because you came out of transformation. You came into formation. So from the formation to go back, you have to transform. You have formed something and you are putting it back and says that, look, I have transformed. You are not transformed. You are that, you see. There is nothing separate as that. There is no transformation. When you ultimately reach that stage, there is nothing called transformation. And where all we started, we came to so much of differentialities. Forget about the people, forget about this, forget about the individual, forget about the food and items and clothes and this, that, and all. To this extent that we have come to that, we have also divided the energy. which I do not know. Still I have divided energy into so many parts of energy. That energy, this energy, seeing energy, not seeing energy, visible energy, invisible energy, understandable energy, understandable energy. Ignorant energy, dark energy, black energy, white energy. That also I can. Is there anything like that? Perception. Object is what? Object is that which cannot be identified as subject is object. You call your child as your child, you call somebody's child as not your child. You see, children are same. No. But you call your child as your child. No. What is that? Subjective perception. My child. I have attached that child to me, even though it is, whether you attach it or not attach it, whatever is there, it is there. But the other's child, I will not call it as my child. I am not able to perceive that idea that it is mine, everything is one. That perception is not there. So we will have to identify. We identify them as separate. I am separate unit. My child is another separate unit, even though lot of complications. So, Devrishi, hey Devrishi, these differences of subjective and objective perception has to be understood clearly. So, in one of the chapter, I think fifth one or something, in mind also it says that the perception is everything is subjective only. And that perception of subjective should be compatible to the existence. The incompatibility of the understanding or clarity of that incompatibility to the existence is known as sufferings, jiva, experience, karma, bhala, everything comes in that. Clear? Is what we have talked, is what I am saying. Just bringing up many things together. Not everything cannot be brought because he has elaborately explained to us beautifully about Bhuma and the Atma and the Brahman, everything. We have undergone that experience. Just reminding you this so that it will be a preparatory base for the lesson that we are going to face, because this will be as I told you, this last chapter is it's an addition to the Upanishad actually. Upanishad is done. Self has already been explained here. Language also makes difference, Language also a difference. Aham is a self. Self, the moment I self, we say in English self, it will always relate to the body and the contents of the body, which is absolutely wrong. It is not myself, yourself, their self, selves, nothing that, not that kind of self. The self is nothing but, as I told you, Aatma, so total consciousness is the self. It is not a unit. That only. So when people say, this has to be very clear. I think I spoke on the last class about it, as I remember. When we call it as self-realization, people say, "Oh, you realize yourself." Many people claim to be sitting in meditation and realizing the self. That's what is known as realization of the self. When it is a question of realization of the self, it is not understanding the self. If it is not understanding the self, it's not me. If it is me, I should be understanding it through intelligence. If I call it as realization, the moment I say it is realization, anubhava, through the anubhava. That means anubhava is not done by the mind, is not done by the sharira. It is by the super high, the consciousness, the highest consciousness, which is inexplainable. That's all. So the self means, self is not myself, and we have explained about this in the previous class. The self is not containing in some unit self. Let it be your own sharira. It is not the self, what you call as self. It's not a shelf. It is a self. No? Neither it contains something nor somebody contains self. Self is that universal existence is called self. So realization of the existence or realization of the Brahman is called realization of the self. It is not really, no? Ramana Maharshi's who am I and what am I? Where am I going? Who am I and what am I? Who am I? Quam, kata. We have talked about this long back. Remember? Who is that? There's no question of who. Who will ask who? Who will say I? So that's why aham. Aham is that self. Aham is that what? Aham is that which is existence. I always said that who uses the aham? The one who realizes the existence only can use it as aham. Is why mostly Bhagavad Gita has been inscribed in the first person. We call it as, in our language, learning language, we call it as first person, aham. So they said it's first person. Aham. It's a good idea. Aham. It's the first person. There is no third person. Why he has used it in a first person? Because there is no second and third person. Is why he has used it in first person. If there is a second person, then only he will use it in second person. So the first person, he used it as aham. Aham mokshishyami. Ma shuchaha. Mama. Mama and aham has been used throughout in Bhagavad Gita is because it is not the name Krishna is talking. It is not the individual Krishna who is talking. It is the consciousness of the Supreme he is talking. He is the one who is transmitting this knowledge. It's not an individual who is telling aham. Who can remove somebody's sins? Hey Arjuna, you surrender to me, I will remove Bhavichan, Mokshichan, Mashuchan. I will give you moksha. Aham tva bhavichyapi. I will take you out of the papas. What does it mean? The one who is the Supreme, who is the consciousness, who is the not only Prakriti, that Purusha which contains everything is the aham. That's why it is known as aham. It is not in the meaning of I. That has been mentioned. That's why I said first person, or they have used it in first person because there is no second and third person. Who else will tell this? Can any Maharishis say that? No, they did not say that. Let it be anyone. Even Vedavyasa has not used aham anywhere for him. He being a great knowledgeable man, a great saint, a great guru, he himself has not used never anywhere to address him, he has never used aham. You know that? Because he knows, even though he has written aham for on behalf, for someone else, he has written. Because that is what is aham. So you understood now what is it? This speck of dust, what you are thinking is aham, is absolutely a wrong concept. And what so long you have this concept of this four walls of this body and this small tiny consciousness, absolutely limited. So long we have this ownership of this, we will never be able to understand this Vedanta. We will never be able to understand the Tattva. We will never be able to understand the truth, Satyam. We spoke about Satyam, not that what you have spoken. No, here also I said, I spoke the truth, he spoke the truth, that was the truth, this is the truth, and that, what is the truth? You say you saw the truth. Afterwards it has been proved as it's not truth. It's not those things are true. They're all happenings. You are witnessing. In the court they say that there's no question of truth. That's why court doesn't believe on truth. They believe only on proof. So they are not justifying the truth, even though Satyameva Jayate it is written. Are they doing the service to the Satyam? Are they saving the Satyam? Today's court of law. That's why it is court of law. The laws have been made by you, and to see that that is implemented, a court is there. That is not a place which is equivalent to God. No. If that is the case, there are so many true cases which is defeated there and proved as false. If that's the case, why? It's not the truth. Everybody knew that it's not the truth. You see, for truth, how much one has to fight. There is a murder case, there is this case, that case, and since last 3 months, all the Indian newspapers and televisions are busy with only covering up somebody's killing. That's all. If there is truth, if that is truth. So truth, what you speak as truth, what you saw as truth, they are all your conception as truth. It is not truth. What is truth? That what has happened you saw, that's all. Is it truth or not, that you do not know. One has killed somebody, is it truth or not, I do not know. I have seen somebody killing somebody. Up to that it's okay, it's a fact. That's all. Truth is different. He is supposed to kill him is the truth. Why he is supposed to kill him? That if I know, then I know the truth. That's what beautifully explained. Most complicated our Hinduta Shastras and Bhagavad Gita has said that there's a big, I think even today there may be big argument. Is it not that Bhagavan Krishna advised the Dharmaputra to tell a lie to Dronacharya? Ashwathama hata ayataha narova kunjarova. Is it not injustice? Bhagavan, that who said that? Bhagavan said. To whom? A man who is following dharma only. He has never told a lie in his lifetime. And he says, you tell this lie to him. You tell Ashwathama is killed. But then you slowly say, Narova Kunjaro. But anyway, it's a question of cheating only, They say he could not hear. Now you can say, I have told the truth because I told at the back of it, Narova Kunjaro. Like life insurance and the bonds, you got bond, not James Bond. Those bonds, which it is almost like James Bond only. They kill us, at last. Oh, clauses are there, that we cannot read it in the font of 4, not even 6. You cannot never read it, and in the court of law he will bring the binoculars and expand it and say that this is the law. I have told that I will not pay money, but he is claiming the money. So what happened? So the same thing. Same thing is up. They have learned it only from Lord Krishna. So same thing he told Dharmaputra to told Narava Kunjarova. Forget, that's one part of it. I'm not talking about that. I'm speaking on the principle of, was it a lie? It was an argument, Was it a lie? Dharmaputra said, is it not a lie? It is not the truth. We say opposite of truth is lie. There is no opposite to truth. First of all, understand that. There's nothing called truth is truth. The lie what you say is also the truth is what Bhagavan comes to. So when the Dharmaputra, there's a detailed description on the Dharmaputras. When Dharmaputra said, no, how can I say that, hey Bhagavan, how can I say that, hey Keshava, I cannot say this. A great explanation has been given, Bhagavan. Whom are you telling this? Now you have to go to the whole thing now. Who are you telling this? I am going to tell this to Dronacharya. For whom are you telling this? Ashwatthama, his son, who was never eligible for anything. He, because that father was the Acharya, because he has given Brahmastra to Arjuna, he also, because of his authority as a son, he set his father, and the father, because of the Putra Moha, he has given Brahmastra to him, not that he has qualified. And it has been very specifically written in the documents of by the great Ishwaras, that Brahmastra should not be given to a man who is not matured enough to use it in the right manner. Arjuna has never used it in any of this, but he has used Brahmastra in order to kill all these people and things like that. He has used even the Bhruna Hatya he has done. No? Ashwatthama. He has killed the children, all the 5 children in the Bhruna. So, whom are you telling this? A man who was totally knowing that who has done it? Acharya has done it. No? Acharya has done it. Who is an Acharya? Acharya should be impartial to that. He should be giving to the disciple only. Not because he is a son, he has to be given extraordinary preference as far as the knowledge. Give him food. Instead of giving 1 thali of rice, you give him 10 thalis of rice. Let him eat. No problem. But you cannot give Brahmastra. So whom are you telling this? You are telling to a man who is absolutely corrupt. Who? Dronacharya? Absolutely corrupt man. He should not have done that violation. Suppose the principal of a college or a vice chancellor of a college and his son is studying there, he will give him graduation or post-graduation just because he has got signing authority? No. Almost something like that, you see. So who has been here? Now see how beautifully Bhagavan Krishna patiently explaining Dharmaputra. And one. Second is that by the time the Devatas and Devas come in the sky and tells Drona, hey Dronacharya, because he was fighting fierce at that time. He comes, they all come there, great saints and knowledgeable people. They come, hey Dronacharya, you are a Brashtachari. You are not an Acharya. You are not a Brahmana at all. You are to be, no, बोलते हैं ना, the सिर मुंडन करके नगर पार करना, something like that, you know. Should be done like that. Why? Because you as an Acharya, first of all, you being a Brahmana, for what purpose are you fighting? Only a Kshatriya is supposed to, according to the rule, only a Kshatriya is to participate in the war. You, Senapati, as a Senapati, you are functioning, you are a Brahmana and you are losing your karma. What is your karma? Your karma is teaching them, that's all. You are not supposed to take the astra in the war. You cannot be fighting. For whom are you fighting for? Whom are you fighting? For Duryodhana. For whom? Adharma. You are getting it? How beautifully he has explained. A man who is downtrodden to that extent, being an Acharya and being a Brahmana, being one who is supposed to distribute the Shastras, distribute the knowledge to the others, he is defying the knowledge. Whom is he fighting with? He is fighting against Lord Krishna, against Pandavas. No? It is like that. So what is he doing? Absolutely not a person who is eligible to be standing there. Is second. All the Maharishis, Tapasvis come and tell them that Bhagavan Krishna explains to Dharmaputra, look, this is the person who is doing it. Who is with the Aatma? Not only with the Aatma, he had been with the Aatma, he was staying and eating in their food, doesn't matter. But why should he take Astra against Dharma to protect Adharma? What's the purpose? To protect Adharma. Okay. And when such thing happens, when such a thing happened, and that too for the benefit of, now he cannot be killed because Acharya cannot be killed with a fight. That's not possible. That Bhagavan also knows about it. So what happened? His putra moha, like Dhritarashtra, what is his hook there? They have got that point. Is his putra moha. He is only fighting because he has already sided, the Ashwatthama is siding with the Duryodhana, and he should not get killed, so he is fighting with that. He is protecting the son. The putra moha is height in him. So with that, because from the inception you will find Dronacharya, it's only for putra moha he had a fight with the Raja, division of the country and things like that. So he said, one who is entangled with the putra moha, one who is entangled with only this moha in this world, who is not eligible, who is that? Who is not eligible to be an acharya. To such a person, if you tell a truth, let me say, that Ashwatthama hatayataha narova kunjarova, maybe slowly. You have told that. Now a person who has got or putra moha, the moment he said Ashwatthama hatayataha, instead of you being an acharya, you have enormous powers. These people have got tremendous powers. They shoot an arrow and leave it. For another 1 hour, the arrows will find a person and kill. Such is the capacity of them. In such a great knowledgeable man in the warfare as well as archeries, the utility of archeries, acharya, and knowledge also, great Pandita he is. Such a Pandita, he can just shoot an arrow and create a light equivalent to sun's light, and he can see Ashwatthama is standing there. He has got that powers. They got a lot of powers, They can shoot and there will be a light. And he can see actually the Ashwatthama was not very far from him at that point of time. He's standing there. He could have seen that. He said, okay, you have told this. He could have checked. If he's an intelligent man, he is an intelligent man. He would have seen that. Why didn't he see that? Is what Bhagavan Krishna said. The moment he said Ashwatthama, he did not even, before telling that Hatayata, he dropped his arrow and bow. Because his putra moha was so high that he even forgot Acharya, forgot the knowledge. To such a man who is downtrodden to the extent of that, how should you kill him? He asked Dharmaputra. Should you kill him in a straight war? No, because he is not eligible for that. So he has to be told this, and he has to be, since he is entangled with moha and he has done everything with moha, he has to die with moha. This is not a lie, he said, because this is the truth. What is the truth? What is the truth in it? Not that a Dharmaputra has told Dronacharya a lie or not. What is the truth? This is where we and their principles differ. For an outsider, it will look that he has told a lie, whereas as far as the Ishvara is concerned, what is it? What is it actually? That a person who has got that moha because of that complex in him, because of his ignorance in him, not complex, sorry, because of his ignorance in him, That ignorance only will kill a knowledgeable person, like Bhasmasura. Exactly equivalent to Bhasmasura. There is no difference. Equivalent to Bhasmasura. His ignorance has killed him. So who should be killed? How he has killed? You are only a cause of it, that's all. He has to be destroyed. Now, is it a lie or a truth? The truth is that Dronacharya has to be killed based on his moha. And that is predicted that time that he has to be. And even Dronacharya knew it because he's a great Jnani. He knew. At a point of time, I will die of my ignorance, that he knew. But he could not understand at that point of situation, because a man who is ignorant, he will get attracted to that ignorance and the knowledge is forgotten within a fraction of a second, is what I am saying. So why I said all these things is that when we are explaining about the self, aham, if a person is even a small ignorance is there in him, the whole knowledge what he has known is of no use. So the identification of self or transmigration, what we call, will not take place. That's why it is known as transmigration. You go into the trance. Trance means what? The trance is that a neutral state is called trance. Neither you know the good, nor you know the bad, nor you know the right, nor the wrong, nor bad and good, nor light and then dark. Nothing. That's called trance. When you come into the trance, then you migrate. Migration is that towards the truth, towards the existence. When you are in trance, where will you migrate? When you are in a trance, where will you migrate? You will migrate only whatever is available. What is available? Existence. That's called the Brahman, which is known as the Purusha, Prakriti, Atma, whatever you call it. That Atma, here they call it as Atma or Brahman, and he merges into the Atma. So what is self? Self is that Atma. What is Atma? Atma is not my Atma and your Atma. When there is no my Atma and your Atma, there is no classification of Atma also. Even though we classify some as Punyatmas and Papatmas. They are classification of certain Atmas. What is Punyatma? Punyatma is that the one who has attained the true Atma. One who has attained the true Atma of the universe is called as a Punyatma. Identification, that's all. A tag. Papatmas are those which have not identified the truth, but what happened? Because of the objective perception, like Dronacharya, like Dhritarashtra, like Duryodhana, like Karna, like Bhishma, everyone. I'm just talking them because we have those things, explanations, that's why I'm talking about them. Like any of those, we have got a lot of Bhishmas, lot of Duryodhanas, lot of Arjunas, lot of Karnas in our own society. They all have to take that position of theirs from the ignorance, because they are all done some Papakam. That's why we call it as Papa Atmas or Punyatmas and Papa Atmas. What is a Papa Atma? Papa Atma, that the one who has not identified the existence and the migration has not been done. The one who has an objective identification of the universe, and for every experience he depends on the objective experience, and through that objective experience he derives a result out of it, expecting that he will be able to identify the existence. But by objective experience, existence cannot be experienced. That he is not aware, because ignorance. We are all same like that. Even though we understand this word meaning, are you able to do it? No. That is what is called sannyasa. The one who is able to do it is called sannyasi. Sannyasi is not the one who is doing only tapasya and living in Himalayas. This is exactly told here also in Upanishads also. The one who is among, there are hundreds of sannyasis among us, among the living people who are not able to understand. Here he is beautifully explaining that how internally the man is that and externally it appears to be a small man. How it is that they are explaining. That is the Atma. So, who am I? I am that Atma is the answer. I am that the Atma, not that the Sharira. Entanglement of or entrapping of Atma in the Sharira is not possible, and it is not there. We all think that my Atma is in my hand. Atma Glani, Atma this one, Atma that one, Atma Samman. We talk a lot of things in the name of Atma, which is absolutely beyond our control, even though we address them as all Atma. We are addressing to our ego. So, the Glani happened to the ego, the Samman happened to the ego, Asamman happened to the, and I identify the ego as Atma. Now come on, tell me, where are we? Who gets Samman? Ego. Who will get appreciated? Who will think that he is appreciated? Is the ego. Who will think that he is insulted? Is also the ego. They are all misconceptions. That's what he said, that trying to identify the existence through the objective experience. That will show me, that ego will show me the existence. The ego will show me the Brahman. By doing that, I will attain the Brahman. No? Absolutely not. So these misconceptions, that's why these Puranas are very well detailed. Explanations are Vedavyasa has written beautifully well about the war and each activity of the war and why each person is killed has been explained beautifully well. Each person's, important person's death has been explained. Bhishma also like that. Ashtava, first of all, you know that Bhishma, how he is born. He is also a rebirth because of a Papa Karma. I told you, Bhishma is one of the Ashtavasus. No? His name was Dhruva in the Ashtavasus. He is the one who stolen the Kamadhenu from Maharishi Vasishtha ashram. So Vasishtha curses him. Is how he is born. First of all, he is born as Bhishma to undergo this process. So what happened? The experience of that karma bala, being Ashtavasus, they were powerful those days. Because of that power, the ahankara has come in them. When the ahankara, they never bothered to ask Maharishi Vasishtha, please give me the cow. Maharishi would have gratefully given them as dhanam. When he is not there, Maharishi was not there, they stole, this is the story, Puranas, stole the cow. Because of that, Vasishtha has cursed the Ashtavasu, that is Bhishma in this. He has to undergo that. He himself born as a rebirth because of his Papa Karma. So we call it as Papa Atma, Papa Karma. So why? He identified his Sukha, even though he was Ashtavasu, his Sukha, they found it is in Kamadhenu. He wanted to identify the subjective experience through an object. Was the mistake. When he identified the subjective experience through an object, Maharishi said, you keep on experiencing subjective experience through object only in this Janma. Bhishma's life, you see, whole life he is identifying the subjective experience through object. Showering of insults. So, what is that? This is prelogue for this. It's I have assembled from here and there and put lot of things together only to make our mind clearly understand. I know it's not possible to, for a normal person who is entangled with the materialistic way of living, it is not possible immediately to transform into this sense. To identify the Sharira is not important. Is that concept is very difficult to accept, to be accepted by the mind of a normal human being. But with all that knowledge, with all that knowing, with all that, when we are reading this Upanishad, completing this Upanishad, it is the responsibility. We have to conclude it. So it should be told, and so you should know it, that this is this is perfect, and this is knowledge. This is what I am supposed to do. At least that knowledge has to be inculcated in your system, in your Atma, so that whenever possible in your life term, I mean this Janma, next Janma, these memories should evoke you and make you walk through that path and attain that what is necessary. Is why we are going through this lesson. Otherwise it won't be very pertinent for the people who are just living in the materialistic way of living, because it's not possible meant for sannyasis. So he has, Maharishi, even though he has concluded the Upanishad as it is, he decided to take this chapter of 12 sections, 12 slokas, 12 sections of the nature of self. The nature of aham. What is the nature of self means? The prakriti of me, the prakriti of I, the prakriti of aham. Prakrita. Who is prakriti? The one who has attained with the prakriti is a prakrita. So what is that prakrita is what he wants to tell us. It is very difficult to understand. It's not possible. If you try to understand it, it's not possible. So listen. Let it go, and maybe that you have to contemplate a lot, because he has elaborated very well, but it will not go in. It's difficult. But even the last chapter was beautiful. I think you should listen to the last class again. So that Atma and the ego and the ahankara and the aham. What is the ahankara and what is aham is what we have explained about the last class. It's beautifully done. If one understands that itself is good enough. Rest still we will go for this ahankara. So we will not have, I think, enough of material I have given you for cooking. Now you have to cook. We'll just do little bit of one shloka, little bit of it, and then rest we'll sing next class. Bhagavan says, Om Atha Yadidam Asmin Brahma Pure Daharam Pundarigam Veshma Daharosmin Antarakasha Astaminya Dantastadveshtyayam Tadvava Vijitnyasitavyamiti Hari Om. Starts with Hari Om. Hari Om, Om Ada. What is Hari Om? We will start from there, I think. What is Hari Om? What did you understand? Hari Om Ahayat Idam Asmin Brahma Bhure Daharam. So Hari Om. What is Hari Om? It's not written here. I am just telling of my own way. Hari Om is not very significant to the subject, but just when I read the word Hari Om, I thought I must tell you what is Hari Om. What is Hari Om? According to your perception, we all think that Bhagavan Vishnu is identified as Hari. And we said Hari Om in praise of him. Not that. Hari Om is that it is connected with the Atha Edidam Asmin Atma Pure Brahma, what is it? Asmin Brahma Pure Daram. Hari is connected with the Brahmapura. In Brahmapura, who is eligible to be living? The one who is Hari Om. Who is Hari Om? It's not, I'm not talking about Vishnu. Vishnu is okay because of his qualities. We have identified as Hari Om, that's okay. It's only an addressing of Lord Vishnu as Hari Om. But what is actually Hari Om? Hari Om is not that. The one who has identified and perceived to be eligible to be living in the Brahmapuri, the one who is eligible is the one who is identified the Brahman. The one who has identified the Brahman is the one who has identified the Omkara, which is the ultimate of the Shabda Tarangam. Omkara is the Shabda Taranga of the what? Shabda Taranga of the Hridaya Dhvani. The Shabda Taranga of the Hridaya means what? Hridaya is not the heart, it is the consciousness. The Dhvani of the Hridaya, as I told you in Upanishad, the two hearts. Hridaya Dhvani, that Omkara, is the Dhvani of the consciousness, identified as consciousness. That Omkara is identified as the consciousness because the Shabda is also the consciousness. It is not the Shabda which we are listening through the ear, that's called the Shabda. Here, that's why it is known as Pranava. The Pranava is not, even though the Adi of the Akshara, the one which is not Kshara, which is always living, which is always permanent, is called Omkara, Akshara. That's called the Omkara. What is Akshara? Akshara is not the letter or a small script that is there which is existing. It is the one which Akshara means what? It's the consciousness. So Omkara is an Akshara, means what? Omkara is consciousness. So the one who has identified Omkara, Om, not Omkara. Omkara is that what you are, Kara means doing. Omkara is that what you are chanting. Om is Omkara. The one who is that what is being identified as Om is the consciousness, is not the Shabda. It is that Akshara which is not Chaya, it is not Chara, it is Akshara, it is the consciousness. The one who identifies the Om as the Akshara, the one who identifies, who is eligible to be living in Brahmapuri as Om as the Akshara, Om as the consciousness, Om as that is which is all pervading. Om is not the Shabda that you are listening to the ear, but Om is that which is a consciousness, is the one who has acquired that, or he has been acquired by the knowledge. Who has been acquired? The man who knows, the one, no, I won't say called man, man means one. One who knows the consciousness as the Akshara, Omkara, Akshara, Om Akshara, not Omkara. Omkara is chanting, Om is Akshara, that Om as the one. He is a Hari. Who is Hari? Hari is that what he who has merged with the consciousness, he who has been acquired by the consciousness, he who has been acquired by the knowledge, by the jnanam, as I told you about Devarishi Narada and this Samvada of this one, that you are identifying each, but it's not that. You should be absorbed by that. The one who has been absorbed by the knowledge, because he identifies the Omkara, Om as the Akshara, because he is eligible to be living in the Brahmapuri, he is Hari Om. That is Hari Om. I won't call it as he. Now there is no he. That is Hari Om. That means I have been absorbed into that great consciousness of knowledge. Is called Hari Om. Not addressing an individual in the form of a human being. It's not that. That is Hari. So they are representing Vishnu is that. So Hari Om. It's not Vishnu being addressed as Hari. It's that absoluteness or the everything is addressed Hari. That Hari is the one who is represented by Mahavishnu. That's all. Because his characteristics and nature is that which is absolute highest consciousness. So we identify them in a form of Vishnu. That's all. Vishnu's name, the name Vishnu itself is what? Vishnu? Vaishnava Vishnu, which is invisible, which is inexplainable, which has no meaning, which is dark. Hari Om. Edidam asmin Brahmapure Daharam Pundarikam. The small lotus-like dwelling. Edidam asmin Brahmapure Daharam Pundarikam Veshma Daharosmin Antaram. Lotus-like dwelling that is within the city of the Brahman. There is a small space. It's all imagination. So Brahmapuri, in there is a small space. Where is that Brahmapuri? Lotus-like dwelling that is within the city of Brahmapuri. Where there's a small space, that which exists in the space is to be known. That indeed has to be equated into realization. That in our consciousness or in our heart, hridaya. There's an explanation in Puranas. Angushta matre. Where is the Brahmapuri? Angushta matre. How big is the Brahmapuri? Angushta matre. As big as the Angushta. Now, it's a big misunderstanding here. Huh? So we immediately think, this is Brahmapuri. I am much bigger than that Brahmapuri. Angushtam is only representing that Sukshmata of the Bhavam, that's all. The Sukshma means that which is, what is Angushta? Angushta is Brahmapuri. Okay. When Angushta is Brahmapuri, Brahmapuri is what? Brahmapuri is that all the universes put together is Brahmapuri. So when all the universes put together is Brahmapuri, and that Brahmapuri is only Angushta, the one who created that Brahmapuri, that one who knows about that Brahmapuri, how big he will be. His Angushta is Brahmapuri. Is why Angushta Matrena. There is a classification in the heart. There is a space. In that space, there is a lotus. In that Padma, in that lotus, Angushta Matrena is a space where the Ishvara lives. Is normally told, the Bhagavan lives, consciousness lives, or the Brahman lives, or the Atma lives. The principle being is not that as small. The Brahmapuri is so big. So Angushta Matra is, if it is the Brahmapuri, whose Angushta is that? The one creator. So how big is the creator? How big is the Brahman? Immeasurable is what it shows. So that is what is called the Angushta Matrena or Brahmapuri. So let us not misunderstand Angushta Matram. Let us not misunderstand Hari Om. Let us not misunderstand the Brahmapuri. There is no town called Brahmapuri. You won't find a signboard, this way goes to Brahmapuri. Take the upper road for departing and the lower road for embarking. No, it's not there. Even though it is supposed to be like that. But we go by that. Now we will explain about the Brahmapuri and the happenings of Brahmapuri, and then of the definition of understanding of the Aham or the Self. We'll explain in the next session. Om Shanti.